that exhaust. I might put baffles in it, I don't know. I kind of like it being open. I mean, it's not like it's a road bike or nothing. But new sprockets, because the old chain fucking blew up on me. I had a number 40 chain on it. Thought that would be tight enough. This is a number 50 chain, twice the size, bigger sprockets, new chain tensioner, actually springy. You know, you can see it holds pretty tight. Gonna run it through the gears. First gear. Pretty moderate speed. Make sure everything's running smoothly, basically, is what I'm looking for here. Chop that short because the body panels on it was with the, it stuck out about like that far, and I couldn't get the body panel off after I put the fucking thing on. So that was a nightmare to figure out. So that's first. There's second, third, fourth, and fifth. That's it idling. You see the inner workings going on here. Obviously, it won't do that bad once when there's actual weight sitting on it, because it won't decelerate that hard, because that's basically the differential of the motor decelerating while the wheels are still trying to push forward. Yeah, give it a little resistance to her. Oh, she gonna eat sheet and get better. I probably ought to stop this before I end up, because it's sitting up on the jack on this little corner. End up flying off the jack. That'll be a bad day. Oh, that's neutral. There's neutral. She's a little cold-blooded. It takes you got to warm her up before she'll actually rev up. You heard that cutout halfway through the throttle. You'll hear it. Of course, it'll make me a liar when I actually go to do it. There, you heard it a little bit. You hear it kind of sputters for a second. It needs bigger jets still. And that idle's still high. There, I like that better. So the exhaust runs underneath the floorboard, and about right here, you can see, well, I'll show you in a second, it stops from being two pipes, and then it merges into one pipe on both sides underneath the floorboard. So about right here back, it's just dual pipe. And I mean, on one hand, like, yeah, it's kind of obnoxiously loud, but on the other hand, it's a fucking lawnmower with a motorcycle engine. It's supposed to be loud. You know? Well, that's my thought process. But yeah, running a lot better ever since I tuned it. Still running pretty good. Cold-blooded, of course. Needs an oil change. I got a new filter. Gonna do an oil change. Gonna get new spark plugs. I think what I'm gonna do, because I've gotten the wiring harness down to pretty much just the stuff that I'm using for it to run, and inside of here I got to get a crankcase vent for this. Obviously it hooks in over there, but I got all this space back inside of here where I can hook everything up, and I made this little dash out of aluminum. Doesn't look great, so I'm probably going to redo it, but you know, it kind of cut corners a little bit. But I mean, it's a fucking lawnmower. I'm not making a showpiece. More or less just something cool and interesting. I haven't had this thing running in a couple weeks, by the way, too, so she's running pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, all that stuff that's sitting over here, I think I'll be able to make a battery tray to solidly hold the battery, and I think all that stuff, I'm just going to mount it, you know, probably with zip ties or something, and tuck it up inside of here so it's out of the way. And then I'm going to make a guard to go around the drive shaft, and then I'm probably going to make something a little more stout than just the sheet metal body right there around the diff, because it was scary enough when that number 50 chain, or sorry, let me shut this thing off. I've let you run long enough. Turn the fuel off, otherwise it will continue flowing. But yeah, so I'm gonna tuck all that stuff up inside of here, so that way none of that is seen. And then I kind of like the fact that the dash kind of comes up to just underneath there, because this old lawnmower has this like little cubby right there, and it's like, that's a perfect spot to put my cell phone and my smoker, so I'm gonna leave it that way. Not that I would be leaving that in that cubby if I'm out ripping her, but you know, cruising around, terrorizing the neighborhood, yeah, why not? But you can see I got a little diamond plate circle here, because this whatever used to be there, because that's a car steering wheel, whatever used to be there is no longer there. I need to tighten up some bolts so the steering is tighter. I did some snugging on it, and yeah, so next is I'm going to make a sheet metal backing to basically go around, you know, where you see the four corners here, and that way I can cover that up. And after I get a sheet metal piece made of nice solid sheet metal out of this stuff, just 28 gauge, nothing super fantastic or nothing, but diamond plate, as most people probably know, is extremely expensive. This was 0.025, super thin, but it's just decorative essentially. So I'm going to use this for probably you know, in the floorboards to give it a pretty polished look to it. And after I get the sheet metal piece made on the back there for that, I'm probably going to put it, you know, put this around that piece of sheet metal, just so that way it's got steel as like a solid back covering, again, as more or less a protective coating or protective cover in case the chain were to snap. And then yeah, proceed from there, do a few other things, tidying up here and there. And then I finally decided and found a use when I was digging through a box of old shit. A buddy of mine, Matt, he had this on an old Honda car of his. You know, of course it was on a fucking Honda. But it's basically a racing tow hook. And I do intend to try and use this in like dirt drag racing or something like that. If they'll let me, I want to take it to Kill Care. That'd be pretty cool. Nothing like hardcore taking off, more or less like roll off the line and then just see how fast I can get it in a quarter mile kind of thing. I'm not going to be doing no digs or anything like that. It's just a little too much for a lawnmower in my opinion. Not that I don't have confidence in what I built. It's an old motor. I've been working on this thing for a while. It's more or less just a fun toy that I can take out, have fun, get some few looks from people like, what the fuck is that? And yeah. So yeah, I got a good spot in the front and fits right underneath the hood. I was going to mount this in the front. I thought it'd be a cool look, that, and if I do actually get around to drag racing it, like I said I planned on, don't ask me what that is. You know, it's a nice aluminum tow hook. And no, I'm not going with green for the colors when I decide to paint it, because once it's all finished, I do plan on painting it. I'm leaning towards burnt orange, like a burnt copper orange, maybe a gunmetal gray or something. Who knows? That's a long fucking ways away. Yep. Well, this movie is long enough, and nobody's gonna watch it anyways. Whatever. I'm happy about it. Much happier about this whole setup too. Bigger sprockets, bigger gears, and it looks like it might be a little higher end than I thought it was. May have to get a bigger rear sprocket. Who knows? Well, see you later.